So I want to talk today about these things called the Four Agreements that are Toltec Dharma. The Toltecs lived thousands of years ago in Mexico. And these Four Agreements came out in a book called The Four Agreements in 1997. I only found out about it 3 weeks ago, and I was in the Waterstones, and I thought, oh, I'll quickly read what those Four Agreements are. And I was like, wow. And then I read the introduction, and then I browsed a bit more, ended up getting the book. And there is, it's you know, spoiler alert, this is a very simple but pretty much comprehensive summary of what the Four Agreements are. And they're really good. There's nothing kind of, there's nothing kind of super esoteric in them or anything like that. They are part of them is the Cub Scout promise. Everything else is found in like Dharma and Stoicism and probably the Abrahamic religions, and you know, there's nothing kind of, wow, I never thought of that. Everything everyone will have thought of before and considered before. But to take them together as a transformative process, as in the very practicing of them changes you, is I think the first time. And I've read so much of all this kind of stuff, and this is the first time I've read it so simply put. It is really neat. And it's not kind of judgmental or prescriptive. They are agreements. They're not rules or laws or precepts. So the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. That's a kind of no-brainer. It's something that everyone would agree that is fundamentally important to do. The book kind of goes into a bit more detail about it, ascribing a certain kind of power to the word, and it also being, I think, equated to the Buddha Dharmic idea of right speech, you know, not gossiping, not slandering, all this kind of stuff. So being impeccable with your word is the first agreement. I will be impeccable with my word. I agree to do that. The second agreement, and this is really good the way it's so succinctly put, but it's to not take anything personally. And that kind of goes down to kind of the Christian idea of meekness, or the Buddhist idea of egolessness and that kind of stuff. The idea of not making it about you, as the book explains. The third one is, I guess you would call it skepticism. It's the idea of not assuming anything, but it's not a kind of worldly skepticism. It's a skepticism about yourself and kind of your interactions with the world, rather than kind of knowledge itself, though I don't see why it doesn't apply across that. Do not assume things. And the last one, which everyone would agree they do, but I think until I read the book, I truly didn't, even when I was kind of like really trying hard to practice whatever it was I was trying to practice, I really didn't think that I didn't really consider it in the way I do now. And that is to do your best in whatever you're doing. And that could be having a terrible day where you're feeling poorly, or it might be, you know, having the moment of your life. There's no kind of distinction if you're going to do your best. The book talks about especially agreeing to do your best over the other three principles, but it's a kind of encompassing thing. So that is the Four Agreements, and the idea is if you practice them, things become better. They're not difficult to practice or learn or remember. There we go.